Here we have a 2019 or a 69 registration. Mercedes-Benz Tourismo M3, 57-seat, PSVAR compliant executive coach. Now, as you can see, and now you can't, we're at Ridley's Coaches in Warwick, and we have got a pair of these, identical apart from one thing. They were registered 2 weeks apart. However, that makes that one 2019 and that one over there 2020. However, 2 weeks apart doesn't mean I'm going to be a smarty pants and make the other one dearer. They're the same price. No point, is there? So these I believe were part of a cancelled order for Arriva, obviously for something like Green Line or that sort of work. And Jordan went and purchased 2 of them, and I don't think they've stopped ever since. So they're quite a bit of a DP spec, if you like, an express spec rather than a touring spec, but we'll work through it. Obviously, as you can see, just standard steel wheels, power operated centre continental doors fitted. These have, both of them has just come back from the bodywork place recently because they've had a bit of a tidy up. So bodywork's in good order on them both. Under the bonnet, Euro 6 Mercedes engine. That's driven through a ZF Ecolive fully automatic gearbox. So there's a tick. Reverse camera's also fitted. Thing I like about the 13.1 metre version of the Tourismo, which an M3 is, they don't have a mega overhang, you know, and that makes them very, very manoeuvrable. Very manoeuvrable. Far more manoeuvrable than a 13 metre 2-axle. They're great for spinning around in these. Loads of luggage still, even with the intrusion of the wheelchair lift. Still plenty of luggage space, but Turismos have always had good luggage. LED destination displays fitted to front, side and rear. And then as we jump on board, 57 TSE reclining seats. Now, as I said, they are quite, I'll get back to that bit in a minute, they are quite basic spec because they were built for a specific job. 3-point seat belts are fitted along with leather headrest inserts. Piping, still old-fashioned cord piping. Seats are all in good order. The only problem with this type of material is you get a lot of that staining. You've got to be on top of it all the time. Okay, but it is, you know, it's hard-wearing stuff. Listen, you know, it's not like your maquette. So, you know, positives and negatives. This one's got a couple of curtains missing up the back here. In fact, there they are. So they just want refitting price sale. Probably been taken down because if you can see the tie back's missing, you can see the screw that it went, the hole the screw went in there. It's a problem these days. Everything's about cutting costs, and if you cut costs, you've got to use less quality materials. It's just the way of the world, unfortunately. There's USB connectors at every seat. They're in the racks, which, as I've said many times, is a great place to put them, because you don't get people poking pens and stuff in them. But whenever it's plugged in, it looks like the masts have deployed. I'm getting predictable, Anna. I'm going to have to come up with something new. Yeah, I need to do a bit of writing. Anyway, carpet to the aisle. I still like that. It's like a mint, isn't it, that curtain colour? And it all ties in. I mean, the bits of green, like in the floor, that just give it away, the Arriva part of things. We're wired for CCTV. We've got a centre sunken toilet fitted. No hot drinks on this. Wouldn't be difficult to get A&D to fit one if you wanted to. Well, it would. You'd need to wait 18 months before they could fit you in, but what I'm saying is it can be done. Fully air conditioned. We're wired for DVD with 2 fixed monitors. Now, seat belts. So this is how this works. And this is why I've tipped these seats up. You don't take the seats out anymore. You've got the quick release levers, but what happens is they all slide up. So that one slides against that one slides against that one. And what that does then, it creates a space for one wheelchair. And you can see the tracking there that fastens the wheelchair in. So you lose, whilst it makes life easier, you lose an extra double seat for a wheelchair because you end up losing 6 seats instead of 4. So that brings us to 51 plus a wheelchair. Once we get down to the cockpit, I do like this Mark II Mercedes dash. You've got multifunction steering wheel there. I call that keyless ignition. I know you've still got to put that big plastic fob in, but you don't have to turn a key. It's on a button. Multifunction steering wheel. You've got a multimedia system there with Bluetooth connection, and it still has a DVD player fitted. Mileage, they haven't sat still, mind. You know, 5 years old, they've done 500,000 kilometres. The other one over there is slightly higher by maybe 20,000. So they've not sat still, these motors, but Ridley's motors work, unfortunately. That's how you make money, I'm told. You can tell they were built for a job because you've got a stand there for a ticket machine. I would imagine there's wiring behind there if you wanted to go down that road. So, you know, as I said, dual purpose, express spec, call it what you will. Lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control, automated emergency braking systems all in there. You've got a fridge in the dashboard, courier seat, and that about completes the job. So, to recap, we've got a pair of these, 2 weeks apart, but a year apart on paper. 2019 and 2020 on 69 registration. Mercedes-Benz Tourismo M3 57 seat PSVR compliant executive coaches.